There's an echo in the canyon, a reflection on the sound. When I'm really looking, I can hear you all around.
Yeah, welcome. Oh, so glad to have you back so soon. So, we're doing a mix-up today with cats and dogs, and they're going to get into it. But we won't get into it. We're so pleased to just be here and watch the action. Welcome, Victor, again. You're such a stalwart participant through rain and shine and storms, or what do they say for the post-op band. And there you got that hat, which is, how would you just...
think of a graceful way to decline.
Say again.
I couldn't think of a graceful way to decline. So here I am.
Oh, and
But at
yet...
least you brought Laurie, that's nice.
Oh! The poet Lariat, that's a good one. So, the opening credit for Captain Mike Corcoran for that song, which still opens up my heart every time we open the show. And with me, besides Dr. Victor Urbanowitz, courtesy of Zoom, is Mrs. Laurie Fox, who's sitting right here as an almost regular.
It's becoming that way, yes.
It does.
Doing less camera work and more poetry.
But you're flexible. You can pop back and forth. What a gift to us.
Keeps it interesting.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
And of course, we have Mr. Mike Fox on one camera. Whoa. And James just came in the nick of time. He's a volunteer. How wonderful. Anne Marie stuck in traffic, so our team is ready to go. Opening the show with another Mary Oliver, who just inspires me. As Victor said, somehow there's implicit theology in her poetry. I find that fascinating. Quote, poetry is a life-cherishing force. For poems are not words, after all, but fires for the cold, ropes let down to the lost. Something as necessary as bread in the pockets of the hungry, end quote. Mary Oliver, that's implied theology, Victor. Wow.
Well, I'm a Unitarian. I see theology everywhere.
And again, I've been going back to church for the first time in 20 years. Same church I went to, UCC, United Church of Christ Congregational on the Green. And what's that saying for the UU?
Yeah, we think UCC really stands for Unitarians Considering Christ.
Say that again.
They have more crosses in their churches than we do. We don't have any, but they seem very kindred spirits in theology.
Got it. Thank you. Laurie,
Frank.
how about a meow?
Okay. A meow. A real meow.
A meow from your friends here.
Okay.
I'm so glad you like the book.
I do. I find it relatable. Not so much for cats. I happen to have a dog, but
Right.
But the behaviors are similar, And there's one that I really love. This one is Poetry for Cats by Henry Beard.
A real find.
And it's a relatable experience if you have a pet, and they're humorous. The one I'm going to read is called, hold on. Do not go peaceable to the Damn Vet. And this is by Dylan Thomas's cat. So it's kind of a play on do not go peaceful into that good night. So do not go peaceable to the Damn Vet. A cat can always tell a trip is due. Hide, hide when your appointment time is set. Wise cats who watched and learned the alphabet and never let men know how much they knew. Do not go peaceable to that Damn Vet. Young cats who want to keep their claws to wet on sofa legs and save their privates too. Hide, hide when your appointment time is set. Sick cats, poor things, whose stomachs are upset but hate to eat some evil-smelling goo. Do not go peaceable to that Damn Vet. Old cats who have no wish to sleep just yet and plan to live for another life or two. Hide, hide when your appointment time is set. And though your human sweetly calls his pet or rants and raves until his face is blue, do not go peaceable to that Damn Vet. Hide, hide when your appointment time is set. That is a very relatable experience. My dog is going to the vet soon for his annual shots, and he doesn't hide like a cat would do, but he's great going to the front door, and there's a familiar scent that all of a sudden he will dig in and just won't go through the door and pulls with all his might. And he's little, so.
Such similar behavior. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
pointing that out.
Well, think about humans.
Yes.
You know, there are many humans that don't like to go to the doctor for fear of what they're going to be told or it's going to hurt. So pain is a universal language.
Brilliant and beautifully said.
So,
Oh my God. My cat, when Finn was ready, because he needed it, ran around the house 3 times. I mean, outside after he got out of my grip. Oh no, he'll run away.
yeah,
It's such universal behavior.
it is.
Oh, beautiful. And it's the theme of the show.
That
Mixed
it
up.
is.
Cats and dogs and their similar behaviors. And, well, put them together and what do you got? Wow. Victor.
No,
Could
we
you-
didn't let our cats see the carrying box until it was absolutely time to leave.
Yeah.
And then, one of us would pick it up and open the box and hold it vertically so we could just basically drop the cat in. Then they sit in the back seat of the car in the box and go, yow. And then they get resigned and get very quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very similar behavior to my daughter's 8 cats who keep going and coming. Hey, do you have a cat poem sitting there?
Oh, I have a few. The Cat and the Moon by Yeats.
Uh-huh.
How about that?
Good one.
There's a nice imagery there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's definitely an image of that, but here we go. The cat went here and there, and the moon spun round like a top. And the nearest kin of the moon, the creeping cat, looked up. Black Minalush stared at the moon, for wander and wail as he would. The pure cold light in the sky troubled his animal blood. Minalush runs in the grass, lifting his delicate feet. Do you dance, Minalush, do you dance? When two close kindred meet, what better than call a dance? Maybe the moon may learn, tired of that courtly fashion, a new dance turn. Minalush creeps through the grass from moonlit place to place. The sacred moon overhead has taken a new phase. Does Minalush know that his pupils will pass from change to change? and that from round to crescent, from crescent to round they range. Minaloosh creeps through the grass, alone, important and wise, and lifts to the changing moon his changing eyes. And I don't think that is that in the Henry Beard collection?
I didn't see it.
No, I think it's all, no, this is actually an original poem, not adapted for cats. It's an actual cat poem by Yeats.
And Yeats, the erudite, brilliant Irish poet, who coined that phrase, the be loud glade, which we may encounter in one of these poems. I think we will. But tell me the name, slowly, please, of the name of the cat.
Oh, I've never seen this name before. Minaloosh. Minnaloush. Everyone
Well-
write that down.
Oh, yeah, everyone write that down because we can run to the Bible or we can run to literary sources.
Sounds French to me, Minaloosh.
Oh.
I don't know.
Except it's an SHE.
Yeah,
So I don't know, it might be Gaelic too.
sounds Russian.
Could be anything.
Yeah, that too.
Thank you, Victor. We're on a roll.
We are on.
Happy to contribute.
Let's cat it up.
Okay.
Very nice. And it was great. Emily showed the front page and the cover of the cat book. It's a find. It
So-
found me the way my
Yeah.
cat found me. It found me.
You always come up with interesting selections. This one is by Elizabeth Barrett Browning's cat. It's to a vase. How do I break thee? Let me count the ways. If I break thee, if thou art at any height, my paw can reach when, smarting from some slight, I sulk or have one of my crazy days. I break thee with an accidental graze or twitch of tail if I should take a fright. I break thee out of pure and simple spite. The way I broke the jar of mayonnaise, I break thee. If a bug upon thee sits, I break thee if I'm in a playful mood. And then I wrestle with the shiny bits. I break thee if I do not like my food. And if someone thy shards together fits, I'll break thee once again when thou art glued. So, this is an interesting one because it kind of shows the personality of a cat. They can be spiteful,
Every much.
accidental, intentional, you know.
Playful.
They can read you and they can, yep. So
They can read you, yes.
they can read your moods, they can read, you know,
Yeah.
and then they just are. They
They just are with us, yes. That's so beautiful. Elizabeth, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. It's a
Right.
beautiful takeoff.
It is. And I think it's very creatively done.
Yeah.
Each one of these poems, Poetry for Cats, each one is done by a poet's cat.
And
You know, so-
with such finesse.
Right. And Henry Beard, he's the author of French for Cats. Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to be able to? I wish I knew French.
Yeah.
I would go for that book.
I took Spanish in high school, but my husband, Michael Fox, behind the camera, he speaks French. Not fluently, but better than I do. He'll come out occasionally with a phrase or two.
He's gently
He's being modest.
modest. He's gently being modest with a shake of the head, like a cat.
That's right. That's right. But
Oh,
but very
Kathy,
creatively done. You know,
Very exciting.
in the voice of, you know, here's one with William Butler Yeats's cat. The Dismal Isle of Innisfree.
Oh, I'd love to hear that again. That's a sweet, sweet sound. Victor, the Dismal Isle of Innisfree.
I know, you sent me a copy of that, so, yeah, I'd like to hear somebody else read it.
Do you want to read this? Do you have it?
No, I
about-
want to hear Laurie read it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Your voice is more velvety than mine.
Thank you.
Wow, what an accolade.
That's a very,
It is.
I take that as a compliment, very high esteemed compliment.
Oh, that's lovely.
I must arise and hide now, or go to Innisfree, to the dank hut he built there, of mud and rubbish made. The only thing you'll find there is about 1 billion bees, and mushed up beans in a soggy glade. And you get bit by ticks there, for ticks come dropping down, dropping from the leaves of the nettles, to lodge within your fur. There breezes smell of cow flops, and the lake is dirty brown. And right next door lives a nasty cur. I will arise and hide now, for any time I see the box in which I'm carried, positioned by the door, I know it's time to vanish, and the cellar flee. My Innisfree beneath the floor.
Ooh.
So they talk about the box in which they're carried, which you were just mentioning before, Victor.
Right. The box of terror,
Yeah,
the box that means the vet.
that's right.
Wow. What synchronicity. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. Such expression you read it with, which is always so good. Even the little curl of the lip when you talked about the cur.
The cur.
Oh.
You know, it it reminds me of when my father used to speak of our pet dog, the family dog, growing up. He was never fond of the dog, always wanted to get rid of him, and he'd call him this foul-smelling cur. And until our house was broken into one night, and
Oh.
the dog saved the house and protected the family and chased whoever it was that broke in, chased them out. And all of a sudden, there was a love affair with the dog. He was no longer the foul-smelling cur, and he would say it with the curl of his lip. That's funny you picked that up.
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't realize I did that.
Oh, and cats can't do that, although I have a little story. My daughter said, "Oh, we're having trouble with our black cat. She's lost it mentally." And she would see someone at the window, and she'd fly across the room with claws extended and hang on the curtains and growl at whoever was in. Poor thing.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So they're vulnerable to so many things. Mm-hmm. Wow, that helps us mix it up. Time for a few doggies.
All right. All right, let's see.
We'll do the doggies. Oh,
Okay. For I will, actually, do you want to start with that other poem? And then I will come in that same,
remind me what poem that was.
there was one, For I Will.
For I will. Oh, that's the Victor combo.
Got it,
That's,
got it.
That's the first half of, the first opening of the second half.
Got it. So what?
But I would love to start with
Okay.
The Dog Has Run Off. Again, Benjamin. Benjamin's looking a little forlorn, but he's run off. Oh,
I don't have that
the
one.
dog has run off again, Benjamin, and I should start shouting his name and clapping my hands, but it has been raining all night, and the narrow creek has risen. Is a tawny turbulence, is rushing along over the mossy stones, is surging forward with a sweet, loopy music, and therefore I don't want to entangle it with my own voice. calling, summoning my little dog to hurry back. Look, the sunlight and the shadows are chasing each other. Listen how the wind swirls and leaps and dives up and down. Who am I to summon his hard and happy body, his 4 white feet that love to wheel and pedal through the dark leaves to come back to walk by my side obedient? Oh, what a beautiful attitude. Who am I to interrupt the romp? Who am I to interpose in the music of the spring? There's such love of nature and respect in between every line she writes. It's right to my heart, always. Each poem is infused with that quality of love somehow. And that will be later on when we get some time with Mary Oliver's dog songs. But meanwhile, I love the handouts of famous writers' dogs and what they have to say. Oh, there's a lot of love in there too, even though there's a humorous twist or turn. Or
Sure.
did I pass along the book?
You did. You
Okay.
did. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
2 minutes.
We have 2 minutes. Okay. I think I can to get one there for 2 minutes.
Good.
All right.
Squeeze in the doggy before the break.
All right. Mark Richard. Y'all are bird dogs, aren't you? Okay. Lean way out, y'all said. Stand on the toolbox and lean way out, y'all said. This thaw up north, billions of juicy birds. Way out where you can walk on beautiful, beautiful pond ice.
Ooh.
So that sounds like the spring thaw to me, and the experience of leaning out. Now you can start to see things, that are changing in nature. It's no longer a vast, prairie of ice and snow.
Down south.
Yeah,
How sweet
yeah.
that setting is.
Stand on the toolbox and lean way out.
Y'all. I like that.
This thaw up north, billions of juicy birds, which means the thaw starts to bring back the migration of birds.
And how wonderful that is.
And dogs are on alert for that, especially the ones that like to hunt birds.
Yeah, that pose. We are ready for a break.
Sure.
Thank you very
Wonderful.
much.
Thank you.
Come right back, 2 or 3 minutes, and enjoy the service announcements because they're so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Lori.
You're welcome.
Vacation rental cons top the list of travel scams reported to Better Business Bureau. Con artists often pretend to own these rentals and try to talk you into paying them directly instead of through a travel company. It may be tempting because scammers will offer a cheaper deal, but the last thing you want to do after taking time off of work and paying for airfare is to get to your destination and learn the home you plan to rent doesn't even exist. Do extra research before buying into an ad you see on social media or online. The free cruise is also a common con. Read the fine print and watch out for add-on fees, taxes, and other charges. And finally, beware of third-party booking sites that claim to sell airfare. You pay with a credit card and then receive a call from the company asking you to verify personal information such as your bank account. In other cases, you're told your flight was canceled and convinced to fork over more money to rebook. To see the full list of vacation scams and how to avoid them, visit bbb.org/travel, and to report a scam, visit bbb.org/scam-tracker.
back. We are. And guess who's here?
Hello, hello.
Oh, Emily. Emily Miner, coordinator of the whole shebang. And speaking of shebang, we got some shebang cats and dogs together. And oh, how wonderful this will be. I think we lost Victor.
Oh no.
Oh, he's back.
He'll be back. All right, so I got a lovely poem here. It's about a calico cat, and I actually have a calico cat.
What's her name?
Stuffin'.
Oh, Stuffin'. Where did you get that name?
So she's actually a rescue. I rescued her from Adorable Pets in Brantford, and she was rescued from the streets of New Haven. And she got her name because she was actually a mama kitty and had kittens, and she was rescued around Thanksgiving time. So her name relates to Thanksgiving, and she was stuffed with kittens. Yeah.
That's so beautiful a story.
And she's oh so sweet.
Oh, I could see from the whiskers and the face.
Yep, there's a photo of her.
Oh, Stuffin', you're beautiful. It's such a nurturing mama pose.
Oh, yes.
And lovable
Oh, she loves to cuddle every night. She's
Really?
oh so sweet.
every night.
Yes, she comes to bed every night.
Oh, that's a wonderful feeling. Comforting you, but also it's so mutual.
Oh, yes. She's the best. All right, so I have a poem here. It's about the gingham dog and calico cat by Eugene Field. The gingham dog and the calico cat side by side on the table sat. 'Twas 12:30, and what do you think? Nor one nor another had slept a wink. The old Dutch clock and the Chinese plate appeared to know as sure as fate. There was going to be a terrible spat. I wasn't there, I simply simply state what was told to me by the Chinese plate. The gingham dog went bow wow wow, and the calico cat replied, meow. The air was littered an hour or so with bits of gingham and calico. While the old Dutch clock in the chimney place up with its hands before its face, for it always dreaded a family row. Now mind, I'm only telling you what the old Dutch clock declares is true. The Chinese plate looked very blue and wailed, oh dear, what shall we do? But the gingham dog and the calico cat wallowed this way and tumbled that, employing every tooth and claw in the awfulest way you ever saw. And oh, how the gingham and calico flew. Don't fancy I exaggerate, I got my views from the Chinese plate. Next morning, where the two had sat, they found no trace of the dog or cat. And some folks think, unto this day, that burglars stole the pair away. But the truth is, about the cat and the pup, is this: they ate each other up. Now, what do you really think of that? The old Dutch clock told me it's so, and that is how I came to know.
What a poem!
This totally reminds me of my cat because we also have a black lab.
Oh!
And so when she walks by, she'll give him a little smack, you know?
Yeah, I know.
So they're best of friends.
Yeah, and yet the independence.
Oh, yes.
Oh, what a beautiful poem to choose, Victor. Thank you very, very
It was
much
perfect.
for this one. This is such a winner. Oh. Victor's gone silent.
Victor's mic isn't on.
Is your mic on, dear Victor? Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
What's going on?
Oh, there
you
he
are.
is.
You'll have to either sit closer or, because it was off for a while.
Oh, how annoying.
How,
Okay, I'm
There
still
he
there.
is.
oh, there you are. Thank you.
I was going to say that Eugene Field is known as the poet of childhood, and he also wrote a poem we've all heard, Winkin', Blinkin', and Nod.
Oh, yes. One of my favorites. Because didn't they go off in a rowboat or a boat together?
No time to look it up.
I know. I have a tendency to mix up my fairy tales.
I think you're thinking of The Owl and the Pussycat by Edward Lear.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Fairy tales. What a good mine to plumb and dig up some wonderful poems. That was perfect. And what's your lab's name?
Shadow. He's a black lab named Shadow.
He's a black lab. And how long have you had both of them?
Shadow is 7 years old and Stuffin just turned 4.
Beautiful. And it's a happy home.
Oh, yes.
Neither ate the other one up.
Not yet.
That's terrific. Wow. So you were probably needed at the control, or you want to stay?
I can read another one if you'd like.
I'd like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. We'll stay with the dogs.
All right.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, Anne Marie is here. Just as is wonderful to do. Just hold the book and circle the finger and just go to a page.
All right.
That's the fun part, because it's all unleashed. It's all dog poems from the point of view of the famous owner or literary owner in the words that they imagine. Yeah.
So I picked this one called Y'all Are Bird Dogs, Aren't You?
Good, because Laurie just read that. So read it.
Read it again?
Yes.
All right.
That's wonderful. Repetition is the art here. It really helps
Absolutely.
our listeners.
All right. Lean way out, y'all said. Stand on the toolbox and lean way out, y'all said. This thaw, up north, billions of juicy birds, way out, where you can walk on beautiful pond ice.
Perfect.
Wow.
Nice reading.
Thank you.
Teaching poetry in the schools is an art, and they've had a lot of that. But I really wish there would be a lot more of it in the early grades, so that the kids can actually begin to hear the music in the poetry, which is what captures you in the fairy tales. By the way, Einstein said, if you want to raise bright children, read them fairy tales. That is so, so essential, so their imaginations can expand.
Ooh, that's fascinating.
Isn't it? And how about one cat poem before you go? Because we've mixed it up.
Absolutely. All right.
We've
let's
mixed it up
see.
so effectively. Cats and dogs chasing each other around the house. Oh, what a fight that was, though, Emily,
Oh, yes.
in that poem that Victor chose. What a brutal fight they had.
I'm going to choose this one called She Walks in Booties.
Oh, yes.
All right. She walks in booties like a sprite, with pixie feet and fairy toes. Her paws on ice will near the night, nor feel the chill of frigid snows, and all the rays of winter light shines on her collar's satin bows, and from her soft enchanted fur exudes the scent of sweet shampoo and precious oils distilled from myrrh that gives her hair its magic hue, I long to hear her charming purr and share the music of her mew. But as I watch her take the air, the spellbound vision starts to fade. I feel at once a dark despair. My feline heart is sore dismayed, for not content to make her fair. Her doting owners had her spayed.
George Gordon, Lord Byron, wonderful. She walks in beauty like the night.
Beautiful.
Oh, what a beautiful takeoff. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
What a fun thing.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad you somehow, just with such beautiful timing, this all worked out. Thanks
As
again.
it always does.
As it always
Right?
does. Just go loose. Yeah.
Thank you for having me, Frank. Until next time.
Until next time. Wow. Yeah. Wasn't that her wonderful experience in front of the camera? And that's the joy of it, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, Victor. Such
Came off
a
well. I like that, How Do I Break Thee? I like that better than the original poem that it imitates.
the one
Yeah,
about
Elizabeth Barrett Browning.
oh
I always thought that was a little sugary, but when it turns to a cat breaking a vase instead of somebody loving somebody else, it just makes it so much more entertaining.
yeah. Oh, that's the wonderful alternate voice that I count on every time.
Yes.
Really? Even better than the love?
Yep. I find that one of the How Do I Love Thee? Let me count the ways. Oh, go someplace else with that.
Too
I find it tiresome.
saccharine, too over the top.
So I do have a unique sensibility. It's a source of great irritation to my spouse.
But you have such a wonderful literary background, too, that you know good stuff, And, but just the name Byron for me, because I aped him like a crazy man when I was in high school. I gotta write like Byron. Oh, I gotta do it. And I did. I wrote a poem called Pilgrimage on the Journey to Europe.
But you went to Poland, yeah, about a visit. I remember that, a visit to Warsaw.
You won't? Yeah. I was describing Warsaw as a 19-year-old kid. And without a mentor or a teacher at my elbow, how could I imitate Spenserian's stanza? 9 lines of, and so on, the formula, So as a freshman in college, wow, there I was with the greats teaching me how to imitate them. And isn't that part of the process of learning?
It is. And that cuts across everything. You study the masters, you imitate the masters, and then you find your voice.
Oh, yes.
So I paint
Yes.
as well. And I'm in that process right now, finding my voice, finding my style. I imitate several different artists, and I'm finding my voice within those paintings of what is my true style and what is my signature type of arrangement. And you have to study the greats in order to find your voice. And I assume that that's what you were doing.
I was deeply and enthralled with the magic of the literary prowess, excitement, and by the way, he wrote Childe Harold's Pilgrimage in the same stanza, and 9 lines of a certain rhyme pattern. And he went to Greece, where he died at 36. Byron, one of the most famous romantic poets, definitely the most showy. But to write about 100 or 200 cantos in that strange, strict form, still in his 30s, is so wonderful. Of course, that was the style at the time, right, Victor? And now,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you generally have to follow some kind of a metrical pattern.
yep, and
Something
now,
that Christopher Smart ignored.
oh,
If you want to bring in his cat Jeffrey.
oh, please do.
Just a suggestion.
Oh, please do.
This, it's from a long poem called Jubilate Agno, which means rejoice in the Lamb. It was written when Smart was confined to an asylum. They thought he was crazy. And he kept writing verses to, well, as self-therapy. They say
Self-therapy.
if he had had more influence, he would have introduced blank verse a good century earlier than it was, or free verse, really.
Free verse.
Since he doesn't use regular, he uses parallel structures instead of regular rhyme and meter. But tell me how much you can stand.
Oh, but first, a little more about the title again, because Latin is not one of our very.
Oh, come on, you can read this.
Even better.
Jubilate agno, rejoice in the Lamb. Agnos.
Jubilate.
This is the dative of Agnus, as anyone should know, and which means lamb, and jubilate means rejoice.
Rejoice in the Lamb. Jubilate.
So mainly it's Jesus, but this is a digression from Jesus to talk about his cat Jeffrey, okay? Which in honor of our Savior he spells with a J.
Oh, wonderful. Let's limit to 15 lines.
Okay. When you faint, I'll stop. Okay. For I will consider. Okay. Well, he. Okay, I'll go to 10thly. For I will consider my cat Jeffrey, for he is the servant of the living God, duly and daily serving him. For at the first glance of the glory of God in the east, he worships in his way. For this is done by wreathing his body 7 times round with elegant quickness. For then he leaps up to catch the musk, which is the blessing of God upon his prayer. For he rolls upon prank to work it in. For having done duty and receiving blessing, he begins to consider himself. For this he performs in 10 degrees. For first he looks upon his forepaws to see if they are clean. For secondly, he kicks up behind to clear away there. Excuse me. For thirdly, he works it upon stretch with the forepaws extended. For fourthly, he sharpens his paws by wood. For fifthly, he washes himself. For sixthly, he rolls upon wash. For seventhly, he flees himself, that he may not be interrupted upon the beat. For eighthly, he rubs himself against a post. For ninthly, he looks up for his instructions. For 10thly, he goes in quest of food. For having considered God and himself, he will consider his neighbor. For if he meets another cat, he will kiss her in kindness. Is that enough?
That's perfect. You picked the break just perfectly. That's a poem designed to restore sanity.
Yes. Now, he wasn't influential because his work was not discovered until the 1930s.
Okay. Poor guy. A little more about him. What is his lifespan? What years, basically?
I don't have any record of that, but he's 18th century. I don't know how long he lived, but it was all in the 1700s.
All in the 17th.
Except for 1700 itself, which is 17th century. And as I said, he was confined to an asylum and he kept writing and writing to keep sane. His work was not known, and so we were condemned to more and more years of other poets producing heroic couplets indefatigably.
Well, of all people, And how did you unearth him?
Oh, he's well known. He's in all the anthologies.
He's in all the anthologies.
Yeah, Christopher Smart.
Okay.
This is the only one that's included. I think he just wrote one long, sprawling poem called Jubilate Agno, okay? More or less in praise of Christ and God. But the cat Jeffrey everybody considers that the cutest part.
The cutest part. Good. Thank you very much for that, because that is so sweetly echoed.
So it's echoed in this poem. So I see you, your cat Jeffrey, and I raise you one dog Percy. For I will consider my dog Percy. For I will consider my dog Percy. For he was made small but brave of heart. For if he met another dog, he would kiss her in kindness. For when he slept, he snored only a little. For he could be silly and noble in the same moment. For when he spoke, he remembered the trumpet, and when he scratched, he struck the floor like a drum. For he ate only the finest food and drank only the purest of water. Yet he would nibble of dead fish also. For he came to me impaired, and therefore certain of a short life, yet thoroughly rejoiced in each day. For he took his medicines without argument.
And that's her dog, Percy. And Percy is the one that she spends so much time on, I believe, in her dog book, which is a wonderful find. Dog songs. And you know, there's an allusion to music here in the sweetest way. The way the dog behaves. I mean, it's a drum on the floor,
Sure.
but it's a trumpet on the voice. Oh, isn't that a wonderful continuing of, and there's so much behind her own composition that is so attentive to music. By the way, Mary Oliver is another supremely knowledgeable teacher. She wrote a textbook, believe it or not, called The Rules of the Dance, meaning if you want to be a poet, this is what you have to master. And those are the rules. And of course, now they loosen up with free verse, as you mentioned, Victor. And yet she's contemporary. She just passed away 2 years ago. What a loss. Many people aren't aware of her, but there are like 20 plus books in the library. Mary Oliver and her implicit theology of the love of nature. But I picked up the book after a friend gave it to me, The Rules of the Dance, and I studied it so intently, even as a teacher of poetry, because it was brilliantly constructed as a poetry textbook. This is Mary Oliver, the practicer of all the most wonderful nature poetry since Robert Frost. And it was like, what a double side to her. The performer, she gave a lot of readings. She was professor at Bennington College, very she and very expensive. Oh, she has had quite a career. And of course, her lover in Provincetown were together for years and years and years, and it was dog after dog after dog. But Percy somehow was near the top. We've had a couple of poems about Percy.
Yeah.
But isn't it wonderful how she knows so much that she would make a riff off of Christopher Smart's
Right.
poem? And I wonder if any other poets had a riff with that
Well,
creatively.
you had the one with the cats. that was written in the voice of famous poet's cat.
Oh, yeah.
So it is kind of a riff,
Absolutely.
you know.
It is a riff, yes. Oh, how beautiful to see it that way,
Yeah.
fully. What a rich compendium of all these poems together.
Right.
And literary allusions abound. I mean, they're just so wonderful, particularly in this cat poem.
Yeah, yeah.
Almost every writer of renown in the canon, the Western canon of collection of literature. Oh, yeah.
Well, I think it's, you know, it's interesting because you talk about, knowing the rules. And I think like anything, if you're to come into your own, it's always good to know the rules
Yes.
before you can break the rules.
Yes.
You know, it's
Suspend them all.
right.
Be free.
Or use some.
Yeah.
You know, you can bend the rules, you can break the rules, but know the rules before you alter them.
And modify a sonnet's form just for the heck of it.
Right,
And get away with it.
right.
Because there's cleverness in that and creativity as well. Absolutely. I love the way you describe coming into your own voice as an artist, a poet, and really, how about musicians?
Musicians do it as well. Well, there's poetry in the lyrics, and
Absolutely.
it's just a poem put to music.
It's just a poem put to music. As
Yeah.
Steve Azzaro, our guest last week, and that's show number 50. Oh, yeah, our blockbuster.
Right.
Steve wrote by deadline a cat poem and a dog poem, and his attention to detail and the rules was so fascinating. And yet, coming into your own voice, Victor, that's a great concept to explore. And boy, I'm glad we opened that up.
Yeah.
All the budding poets in grades 1, 2, 3, and 4, and believe me, if you saw the exhibit, at the Flo Grizz, Florence Griswold Museum in Old Lyme, from kindergarten to high school senior, took over the whole museum with their poems and artwork. First, second, third, eighth grade stunned me.
You find amazing talent even in young ones.
Isn't this a beautiful
It
realization?
is. It is.
That we should cultivate that and cultivate the arts as aggressively as we can.
You know, as a
Oh,
former
yeah.
as a former ELA teacher, I used to come across some major talent within the classroom, and just by just having to read their assignments, and
Yeah.
and it's a shame that poetry is only a unit of a larger curriculum.
An afterthought.
But it really should. It should be further developed. It deserves more than just a particular unit of study within a larger curriculum. It really needs its own curriculum to
Thank
really
you so
to
much,
really
Lori,
develop.
for that. That is actually the point, because, oh yes, Westbrook needs a poet laureate, folks. Every other town along the shoreline has got one. Wake up, Westbrook. Get your act together. Go to the town meeting. Victor, last thought. Say goodbye in Polish.
Oh, well, I'll just say, dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry, good day.
Have a good day. That's often used as a farewell.
Thank you. That's all the time we have for it. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you. Thank you, Frank.
It's
Dziękuję
a
na
wrap.
wszystko. Thanks to all. Dziękuję na wszystko.
Oh, more Polish. I like it. I like it.
If I'm gone tomorrow and you hear this song today, just remember there is love for you in every note I play. There's an echo in the canyon, a reflection on the sound. When I'm really looking, I can hear you